A lot like that basketball game last night, recruiting never ends.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Not 4, not 6, 5 Hour Energy. And we'll talk about them in just a bit. Thank you so much for making us the #1 podcast network there is when I refer to Locked On. You guys are the best. That game last night was absolutely out of bounds. Incredible. Everybody's been talking about it on the radio this morning. I've already had to drive to Tuscaloosa and back. That's how my day's been. But anywho, we're going to start with some football recruiting, though, because that also never stops. We did a live basketball show last night. If you want to see some instant reaction, that's on there on the channel. But we will also talk some basketball in the third segment. But right now, let's talk about some of these guys that are really Alabama's chasing after. Fantastic players. Mitchell Turner, AJ Pauley, and Anthony Sweeney. Jimmy, you had a chance to look at all their huddle tapes.
I did, and I know quite a bit. I'll start with AJ Pauley because he's local to me, so I know a little bit more about him than the others, not to mention watching the huddle tape. AJ Pauley, this is a guy set for an official visit. In terms of a projected, I would say today, if I was doing a class guess, he would be on it for Alabama. He's 6'5", 260. They have a type on that defensive line. This is a position, a size that they like for this position. By the way, AJ Pauley projected to be, what really is a 3-tech or a defensive tackle. He's an interior defensive lineman. Probably never will be a true nose guard size, but he's basically the position that James Smith played a year ago. I mean, that's where AJ Pauley would project. Again, 6'5", 260 today. Probably a 290-pound player or more when he's at Alabama. Really good. He's a guy that to me isn't so much a natural pass rusher, but a guy who's really good in the mess, in the garbage, in the scrum. He's always the guy in the scrum making the play. And I think it's because he doesn't, his high school tape, what stands out about him is he's very difficult to block. He does, linemen get their hands on him, but they're not really blocking him. I mean, he still makes the play. And again, he's really good at the line of scrimmage. His change of direction is very good. That's what makes him, I think, an excellent run defender for a defensive lineman, because his change of direction, he can go one way, ball carrier goes to right or left. He can immediately, no stiffness here. He can immediately react. But one interesting thing to me about AJ Pauley is how much Alabama likes him. He's not a guy that right now is ranked super high nationally or even regionally or even in the state. But it's 100% clear Alabama ranks him very high. They have liked AJ Pauley from the jump. They were one of the first to like him. Now he's getting quite a bit of attention from some other big programs. But this is clearly a guy that Alabama thinks very highly of. And again, I think it's because he sort of fits the prototype of exactly what they're looking for physically at 6'5", 260. So AJ Pauley from McGill and Mobile. I would.
You know his real name?
Sign with Alabama, Avrian, I believe.
Avrian. That's how I'd say it too. But
Avrian, but he goes by AJ, which is by the way, a pretty popular name in Mobile for a football player.
It is. It's very popular.
But let's get to another defense. Go ahead.
Before you do that. You're talking about AJ being a popular name. Probably does have something to do with AJ McCarron, obviously. But this is how old I am, and you. There's a pitcher from Mississippi State that apparently last night did some great things. Freshman. His name is Jack Bauer. He wears number 24, and yes, he was named for Jack Bauer, the TV character, because he was born in 2007, which was the beginning of the 7th or 6th season of 24, which is ridiculous. And as soon as I heard that, I'd go, oh my God, because there's some people listening to this that don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Man, that would be a great streaming thing. I mean, I watched all of 24 when it was out and new, and that's definitely something I would go back and rewatch, particularly seasons 1 and 2, which were just fantastic.
They were amazing, yeah. But anyway, all right, so you
that's
got
great. Jack Bauer, number 24. That's awesome. All right,
His
so
mom's name is Kim, I think, and so that's interesting because I think the daughter's name was Kim.
daughter's name was Kim. Yeah. The next guy, another defensive lineman, same position. To me, Mitchell Turner, another defensive tackle. This kid's from Louisville, Mississippi. He's a little more highly regarded, highly ranked than AJ Pauley, but this is yet another defensive lineman Alabama got in on early. They love him. I mean, this is, you can rank kids however you want, or go by Rivals list, or go by ESPN's list, but here's the deal. On Alabama's list, AJ Pauley and Mitchell Turner are A-list takes. I mean, they have liked these guys from the jump, and I think their rankings will rise as more and more people find them, and then they watch. Mitchell Turner's film is really good. I mean, he's a little bit more of a physical presence than AJ Pauley, kind of a bigger kid. I think he's certainly a 290-pound player or bigger in college. I see him as a defensive tackle. I don't think he'll grow into a nose guard, but heck, we're about to talk about a guy in the next segment that sort of grew into a nose guard that was also 260 when Alabama signed him, and now he's over 300 pounds. That's probably about where Mitchell Turner could grow to. Again, more of a physical presence than Pauley. Pauley's good at slipping blocks, making plays in the backfield. Mitchell Turner is going to be a little bit more immovable, I think, as he gets older. Maybe a little bit more of a better pass rusher, even though he's a bigger kid, I think, than Pauley will be down the road. But this is just a solid, my best description of Mitchell Turner is totally solid SEC defensive line take. I mean, this is what SEC defensive linemen look like. Is he special? Is he outrageously great? No, he's not going to be in that 5-star type conversation. But this is, to me, just absolutely solid 4-star SEC defensive lineman, and at Alabama and Georgia and LSU. And
well, I was going to say this.
These guys like him.
I was going to say this, that I looked it up while you were talking, and you said that Mitchell Turner is probably ranked a little higher. And I guess technically that's true, because ESPN actually has Mitchell Turner as number 231 player in the country. Rivals and 24/7 don't even have a ranking on either one of them yet.
Yeah.
But based on the offer list shown on only 24/7, I looked at all of them. I thought that Pauley's offer list looked better than Turner's. Now, again, we're splitting hairs. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, and I'm guessing right off it's because Pauley is Mobile and Mobile McGill 6A type thing, and Mitchell Turner is from Louisville, which is extremely rural Mississippi. I mean, Louisville is I'm a little familiar with the place, and it's not close to. I mean, I guess you could say it's fairly close to Jackson, but you're probably talking like a two-hour drive from Jackson. It's not that far from Starkville, but probably an hour and a half from Starkville. I mean, this is the middle of nowhere. So I think that would explain it. I like Turner more, to be honest. I mean, if I'm ranking them, I would take Turner over Pauley, but I don't think Alabama's going to be looking at having to make that choice. And Mitchell Turner's one more guy I would project to be part of Alabama's 2027 class.
Let me say this too, Jimmy. That at Louisville, and they do say Louisville in Mississippi, I believe. I don't believe they say
it's Louisville. Yeah.
So they have a running back named Zaiden Jernigan, who most people believe will be the number 1 player in Mississippi in 2028, and the number 1 running back in the country, and the number 22 player overall. And he has said publicly that Alabama is his dream school. So, and recently, not like 10 years ago, recently.
Yep.
10 years ago, he wasn't born. It's a class of 2028.
Yeah, but a bonus to taking Turner, huh? Get his pal already on the ball club.
Yeah, just again, the familiarity can't hurt. I mean, it's not because you take one guy to school doesn't mean you're going to get the other guy. But if the other guy already says Alabama's his dream school, you feel pretty good about it.
No question. And again, I think today, if like we're guessing the class, Mitchell Turner and AJ Pauley are both on it for me, and I like both takes. But are they truly headline makers? No, they're just solid SEC defensive linemen, especially Turner. But this last guy, and by the way, Mitchell Turner set for an official visit, coming in the same weekend as Pauley. And here's another guy coming in the same weekend, that Memorial Day weekend. Anthony Sweeney from Maryland. Okay, now we got a headline maker. This is a guy that's either going to end the cycle as a 5-star or be in the 5-star neighborhood. So he is a national elite presence with a great offer list that's only going to be growing. He is more of an edge guy. He's not an interior defensive lineman. He's an edge guy, which means he's either a wolf or a bandit. In that sense, I think his tape is quite similar to Tank Jones. That's kind of a comp for people that follow recruiting, and you all remember Tank from last year. He was from St. Paul's and Mobile, and he ended up choosing Oregon over Alabama. Anthony Sweeney, by the way, a probable Alabama lean as of right now, even though he's from good counsel, Maryland. But Sweeney likes Alabama a lot, and we got a great shot. To me, he's like Tank Jones in the sense that you're probably recruiting him for the wolf spot with the realization that there's a good chance down the road he's probably more of a bandit, because I think this is going to be a very big kid. He's listed at 230 today. Alabama's Wolves are kind of in that 240 range. The odds this guy's only going to add 10 pounds in his senior year of high school, and then after he gets to Alabama, I would say this kid's more of a 260, 270 type size kid, which means bandit. And again, I think that's kind of where Tank Jones ends up, at Oregon in that size range. But Sweeney is a pass rusher. He sets the edge. First of all, what I like most about him for a pure pass rusher that's going to be a 5-star type guy, he sets a strong edge over there. This is a big, strong dude. In addition to getting to the quarterback quickly, he's got that kind of twitchiness. This is a 5-star and kind of a headline maker. Again, if not a 5-star, top 50 player slam dunk nationally. So Anthony Sweeney, good counsel, Maryland, visiting Alabama. I would also project him to be part of the 27th class at Alabama, even though he's such a really big deal nationally.
Well, speaking of defensive line, you've got a defensive lineman coming up on your roster countdown, and that's coming up next.
I'm Clea Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot, celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. It was a heavyweight showdown between number 3 South Carolina and number 7 LSU, and the Gamecocks rose to the occasion. South Carolina secured a hard-fought 79-72 victory to stay atop the SEC standings, using a balanced offensive attack to outlast the Tigers. Tessa Johnson led the way with 21 points, while Raven Johnson added 19. Medina Okot dominated the paint with a double-double, finishing with 12 points and 17 rebounds, while Joyce Edwards chipped in 10 points to round out the scoring. With the statement win, the Gamecocks now turn their attention to a road matchup at number 23 Alabama on Thursday. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
There is more to a Mazda because there's more to you. Jimmy doesn't believe in you.
Move and be moved.
Move and be moved.
Mazda.
Actually, that's exactly what I said to the person that was in front of me at Starbucks this morning, who apparently put in an order that was so complicated it took 5 minutes. I wanted them to move or be moved.
Yours is yours is kind of complicated too. I remember quite well. Yeah. You have a high maintenance
grande non-fat white chocolate mocha with whip, but it is non-fat. But I am fat, so it's kind of evening out. Yeah. Anyway, so Jeremiah Beeman.
Yep.
It's funny that he's here because I think it was it yesterday? We talked about a guy who's going to be fighting for his spot. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? And
Terrence Green.
Yeah, and we were kind of like, it wouldn't shock us if he kind of took some playing time from him or whatever. But you do have him ranked slightly ahead, and I think you should, even though he's coming off this injury, which was a bad one. Missed a better part of the year. And I want Jeremiah Beeman back. As I said earlier in the season, he's got thighs that are only the envy of that are only not the envy of Tina Turner. And he's a piece of work, man. I think he's a great player. And boy, we could have really used him this year. We could have really used him. I'm not saying I don't even know if he was worth a win or anything, but I think we could have used him.
We saw him so little before the injury. I don't
Yeah.
think people realize how high Alabama was on. I mean, I know from inside the program they were sky high on Jeremiah Beaman and how good he was going to be last year. Then he had the knee injury. So he's been out all year, and a lot of people have sort of, I wouldn't say forgotten him at all, but a lot of fans, I don't think, properly consider or rank how good this guy is. Here's weirdly, this shows my list can be a little wonky with some of my logic here, but I actually don't think Beeman's going to be a starter. Right now, my starting defensive line would be Devin Tompkins, Terrence Green, and London Simmons. But I do have Beeman ahead of Terrence Green. Why? Because I think Beeman's going to be so valuable coming off the bench. I think he's going to be the number 2 nose guard behind Green. He's probably also going to be the number 2 defensive tackle behind London Simmons. So when you're the 2 at 2 spots, you play a lot, and you're really a co-starter with the others. I have Beeman ahead of Terrence Green just because I think we're going to notice him more. Really good nose guards sometimes aren't noticed. They're doing nose guard type things, but they're not making a lot of plays. Beeman's a playmaker. Beeman's going to, particularly when he's playing that defensive tackle spot behind London Simmons and getting snaps there, or even snaps at nose guard. Beeman's just more of a playmaking guy. He's got excellent length. He is an interior pass rusher. They are gold when it comes. And I would say he's a better pass rusher than even London Simmons. So we're going to see Beeman a lot, I think, on these third downs. So much of it, Luke, is just going to be about how healthy is he? Sometimes when these guys come back from injury, they're back and they're able to play, but they're not back all the way. They're not themselves. Some kids bounce back quickly. I prefer to be optimistic. I'm going to say bounces back quickly. That's just because I'm an optimist. But it is fair to put the brakes on that and say, hey, coming off a pretty serious injury where he missed, again, a lot of time, this will sort of end up being a repeat year for him of his redshirt freshman season because he was sort of robbed of that. I think he got hurt in game 2 or even game 1. I mean, he was lost for the vast majority of the season.
Game 2.
Game 2. But I think Beeman is going to be good. They were very high on him, and he played quite a bit in that Florida State game. As a matter of fact, I believe I think Keenan was out for Florida State, and Beeman replaced him. So Beeman, as a redshirt freshman, was game 1 starter, and that should show how the staff feels about it.
Gosh, did Keenan not play against Florida State? And I just don't remember that because I blacked most of that out.
Yeah, I think he was hurt and didn't play in that opener.
Well, that makes it so much funnier than ironic that he. I know that's not why we lost, but I'm saying Tim Keenan was the one that said all disrespect will be dealt with.
Yeah. Well, it would have helped.
It would have helped if he would have been there to help deal with the disrespect. But he wasn't there.
I'm about 5 weeks away from it, and this will drive you crazy. I'm going to rewatch the Florida State game. Something I started not too long ago? This is what I started not too long. I always rewatch last year's games in the summer. I always do. But I came up with this system a couple of years ago, and it's worked really well for me. So we played 15 games last year, right? So what I do is I count back 15 weeks from the start of fall camp, 15 weeks, and like that week's the game week from last year. So Florida State week, and then it'll be Louisiana Monroe week. So I give myself a week to watch the whole game from last year. So that's coming up, not too, and then I'll be talking about it here on the show, and since I'll be watching Alabama tape, but I'll watch Florida State. I think it's the week of the NFL draft is actually 15 weeks out from the start of fall camp. So man, that's not too far away.
Not at all. And something else that's not too far away is our Discord page. You can go check it out, lockedonbama.supercast.com. We'd love for you to come and be a member. Look, it's the Everydayer Club, and it's $5 a month, or if you want to get the year, it's $50. I mean, we're giving this thing away. So y'all come and hang with us at the Discord page. So much fun. Look, these basketball games have been a ton of fun. We got a bunch of dudes that are really into basketball. If you want to be around some like-minded Bama folks that aren't all crazy, then this will be the site for you. Go to lockedonbama.supercast.com. We would appreciate it. TurboTax. It's tax time. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life, though. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax full service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert start to finish without the stress or guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employed forms and work to get you a deduction. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That you got to file by February 28th, but I mean, good Lord, y'all, come on. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit turbotax.com/local to book your appointment today. Also want to tell everybody about 5 Hour Energy because I mentioned them earlier. They are the sponsor of this particular podcast right here that we're doing. And in a minute now, I'm going to find where the 5 Hour, here it is. Look at there, all new flavor. No fluff. Told you I'd find it. Welcome to the 5 Hour Energy Flavor Draft. We're looking at every aspect of the draft to let you know which tasty flavors are the best and which just might be sleepers. The board is set, the flavors are ready, and only one is going to take the top spot. 5 Hour Energy has a wide variety of flavors, something for everybody. 5 Hour Energy shots give you a boost with zero sugar. I love all the flavors, though. I can't choose. If you give me a 5 Hour Energy, I don't care what flavor it is, and I have to take these. The HSA finals are coming up, where I'm going to be calling all these basketball games. I promise you, I'm going to be 5 Hour Energying it up like you wouldn't believe. Look, find your new favorite flavor of 5 Hour Energy shots available online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. That's the number 5, hourenergy.com or on Amazon. They got flavors like cotton candy, confetti craze, fruity rainbow, that's Jimmy's favorite, cherry, grape, berry, strawberry banana, Hawaiian breeze, sour apple, peach mango, tropical burst, strawberry watermelon, good grief, blue raspberry, pomegranate. You dang right I like pomegranate. I like all of them. They're delicious. Go check them out. 5hourenergy.com. Jimmy Stein. Okay, now we can talk about the basketball game again. Man. Like I said, I drove to Tuscaloosa very early this morning, about 5 o'clock. I had to go drop off some stuff to my brother who's running a crew down there doing some stuff. And, the whole way down, I'm listening to Dusty and Danny, who don't talk a lot of basketball. And they were like, one of the best games I've ever seen. And I know, here's what bothers. Y'all mind if I talk about what grinds my gears just a little bit? Y'all mind? I'm going to pretend like you said, no,
Homer.
Of course not.
Homer Simpson.
No, yeah, that is actually Peter Griffin.
That was Peter Griffin. Yeah, it was Peter Griffin.
So,
you know what grinds my gears?
He had a whole segment on the news about it. So, okay, I know we're a football school, and Jimmy and I have figured that out, and that's why on a day like today, when last night was a 117-115 double overtime game with a freshman scoring 49 and our best player scoring 35, and another freshman on our team going 19-11, and Aiden Sherrill having the best game of his career. That's why we lead off with the recruiting, because we know we love recruiting too. I mean, if you make me choose, I may like recruiting more than actual football games. I love recruiting. And we know you love it. And the views point that out. But we love basketball too. It's not an either or. Yeah. And not many of the comments, but so we did the live reaction show last night. Appreciate everybody who came and watched, and we really do appreciate you. We love doing this, so it was fun for us. But there were a few comments that like, yeah, well, we don't play defense, or why are we talking basketball? And I'm like, guys, I mean, look, it's really simple
to a basketball game.
Yeah, it's really simple, and I don't mean this in the meanest way at all. If you don't like basketball and you don't want to hear the live reaction show, I clearly said this is a live reaction show to one of the best games I've ever seen. The game of the year. So did you watch it thinking we were going to talk recruiting then? Also, if you want to complain about defense, fair enough, because
Yeah.
I think that is in Alabama fans' DNA to talk about defense, whether it's softball, swimming, water polo, chess, football, basketball, whatever. It's in our DNA. We are defense-minded folks, right? Oregon's got the funky uniforms. We got defense. So it's bothersome. But just for a minute, can you step out of that line of thinking and realize you just watched something that was really, really fun? Let me ask you this. If that game had been 58-57 in double overtime, would you have been happier?
Would people be talking about it nationally? They'd probably be. I mean,
They'd probably be like, holy
but
cow,
in a
in the
negative,
two overtimes, you got 115 points in two overtimes.
Yeah,
One
we'd have heard
team
it's
got
the most
115
boring.
in two overtimes.
It's the most
in our
boring double overtime game ever. I had a basketball coach tell me one time, I never forgot this, about there's tempo. I mean, Alabama's just not going to be fantastic defensively under Nate Oates. They're not because Nate's not a good defensive coach or doesn't emphasize defense. He actually does. But Alabama plays at such a tempo, the other team's going to score, and they're going to score a lot, period, because everybody's getting more possessions, because Alabama plays fast. And when you play another team that also plays fast, it's just a lightning type thing back and forth. This basketball coach told me one time, he's like, when you win a game 60-40, everybody's like, man, you can play some defense. So, but then when you win a game 120-100, everybody thinks your defense stinks. He's like, I won both games by 20 points. And in fact, I made the same percentage of stops required to win the game. I made the same percentage of stops required to win the game at 120-100 that I do 60-40. But when you win 120-100, it's, boy, your defense stinks. And when you win 60-40, it's, boy, you can't score. Teams play at different tempos that really affect how people feel defensively. Now, so Alabama's actually, I think people will be surprised how high Alabama ranks defensive efficiency. KenPom, which is universally recognized as a great metric for this, says Alabama's defense is around 65th in the country. That's not good. I'm not telling y'all it's good, but I bet there's over 300 teams. And I bet most Alabama fans would feel you're way worse than that. But
and I bet the teams ahead of us, I mean, maybe with the exception of like an Arizona or Michigan, assuming they are on the list, their offensive efficiency isn't as good as ours.
Correct. Alabama's got a top five offensive efficiency to go along with the number 60 defense. And I think that's just kind of common. Football's the same way. If on offense, if your offense in football is hurry up, no huddle, big time tempo, let's go, 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 go. Guess what? Defensively, you're giving up points. You're giving up points because the other team's going to have more possessions, more time. Your offense isn't possessing the ball very long for long periods of time. Your defense is going to be giving up points. I think a lot of people kind of lost sight of that when Alabama switched. Once Tua arrived and became the quarterback and Alabama started going up tempo, defense started giving up more points. That was just the nature of the offense.
Touchdown on the first play, your defense goes right back out there.
That's 100% correct.
So, but it is. Tell me if I'm wrong. I do get the sense that there's some football Alabama fans who feel like they're cheating on their girlfriends if they pull for basketball, and it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it doesn't bother me that some Alabama fans are in it only for the football. That doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm just not that way myself. If it was up to me on this show, we would talk a lot of baseball, softball, and gymnastics too, but we don't do that because I know that most people in the audience don't, they're not into that. So I'm sort of into all of it, but that's just me. But we have to do what's right for the show. And the show is primarily football and quite a bit of basketball, which I think sums up the majority of Alabama fans.
Right. And we're not here. I mean, when we first started doing this, my thought was, let's sort of cram basketball down people's throats and say, they don't want it. Okay, that's fine. The vast majority, the overwhelming majority, I should say.
Yeah, so, we have numbers on all of it. So it's not like we're guessing. We have numbers.
But Jimmy and I do love this. And the reason we feel like our podcast has done well is because we are authentic. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and talk with Jimmy a lot about baseball because I don't know anything about baseball. I mean, if we're in the College World Series, guess what? I'll probably go.
We have an SEC locked on baseball across the league that we record on Monday nights and put out on Tuesday or Wednesday. And I'm doing that. And Luke's not, because simply I'm the baseball guy.
And again, totally, I think that's great. I'm happy for Jimmy. I'm happy for the baseball people. I'm not mad at the baseball team.
Well, nobody has to watch that unless you're into SEC baseball. Then it's a really good show because you're getting to hear everybody across the league and how everybody's team's doing, not just Alabama.
No, correct. I just I know some other basketball people feel this way about, they call them the Fogs, football only gumps.
Football only gumps.
And they are out there. And I wish that they would understand what's happening with the basketball program right now. We're in the salad days. No, are we winning national championships? No, but we never have. Now we hope to get there. I had said, somebody in the comments said, this is Nate Oates. He's never going to win a national championship at this rate. I'm like, well, he fits right in.
Alabama's never won a national championship in basketball.
Well, Asian Jimmy Southern would argue, like in the 30s, we apparently won something. And if Auburn's going to call all theirs, we're going to call this one. But
I don't remember that. I was just a small child in the 30s.
Jimmy was like, shine your shoes, governor.
My team just won a national title. Let's all go sit on flagpoles.
Can I get a 2 pence and listen to the game on the ham radio? Do they have ham radios?
It's true. I was British when I was a child in the 30s.
I think everybody was British in the 1930s still. We had just gotten over here. We hadn't been here long. So that's true. It took us a while to develop these wonderful accents we currently own. Okay. So that's going to do it for today's podcast. We do appreciate you guys. And listen, man, I'm not trying to get on to anybody. I'm not trying to tell you how to feel. But dude, just give this basketball team a moment and understand, they're gonna tick you off defensively a little bit. But offensively, man, I'll tell you one more thing before we go. My 9-year-old daughter, she had soccer practice. She comes home, takes a shower, and then gets ready for bed. And she's like, Mom, I got to go watch the rest of the game with Dad. She's turned into a big NBA and college basketball fan. She comes downstairs and she's watching with me. And it was Aiden Holloway's, one of his big free throws. He had some clutch free throws last night. It was so pure and beautiful. He's got such a – and it made that net go – it just sort of had that whip crack. And my daughter turned to me and looked and goes, I love that sound. And I mean, I was like, I like that. That's
Man,
cool.
She's hardcore.
Oh, she has become, well, like I said, she's got a little step back J. I need to show y'all that one that she put on. She's got it going on right now. So anyway, that's going to do it for today's pod. We'll be back tomorrow more. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.